years I taught there, and since coming, one way or the other, I focused around education. The second thing for me is also within Microsoft. I have tried and do my best to play the role of champion for pen and stylus, and what we can do in terms of improving the interfaces, but also at a business and strategy level where we go and invest to make it a reality. Lots of studies from what latency and touch and many of the questions being asked, maybe in the Q&A we can go there. Today I wanted to focus on one of my latest projects that I have a lot of passion around, which involves education, involves pen, involves touch, which is around how do we make interactive online presentations very simple. If you look at some of the changes that are taking place on the education side, we are moving from a world which is around, much more an industrial age world of everybody learning in lockstep, much more a lecture-oriented environment versus blended online, moving towards mastery and personalized learning and pathways as we go, much more project-based learning and interactive learning, much more continuous assessment that is there. Online lessons that are created are forming a big part of it. They're not a exclusive thing. So whether you think about what is happening, because there are a lot of higher ed people here in terms of MOOCs and SPOCs and online learning. Flipped learning is a big thing in K through 12 as you look at what is the best use of face-to-face time, limited face-to-face time that we have with students. It's best not used as just lecturing, but interacting. So we think of a lot of different uses of making these online presentations very, very simple to create, whether it's for blended learning as I talked about, online learning MOOCs. But since we have a lot of researchers here, I'll talk about an interesting use case that I haven't seen this tool. We spend a lot of time and energy, money doing research, okay? And we spend a lot of time preparing presentations that we go to conferences and give. There's some number of people who attend and then it is lost. And we travel to the next place maybe to give, but we never capture them as presentation. Those students are trying to do presentation. So there's a lot of uses if you look at it for students. It could be project reports, it could be storytelling, it is how you're practicing, you're going to give your research presentation. If it was really, really easy to do, all of those use cases come around. And then if you look at it, much more administrators for the K-12, then professional development, leadership communications, all of those are very important. Peter Gale Harris from the Manteca School District and a good friend of ours, and I push him a lot on how all of the professional development is being done. So most of my talk, actually, I have very few slides. Most of it will actually be demos, really, that I'll do. So challenges that's difficult to author. Often it becomes, using some kind of screen recording software and then using video editing tools to, bring it together. If you bring them together, it's very hard to add quizzes, polls, exercises, and if you do it, create such a rich thing, you say, where am I going to publish it? And if you figure out where you're going to publish it, then you say, I want to see, I shared it, what happened? It's very hard to get that particular data. So what Office makes is, one is it's an extension to PowerPoint. Okay, forget adding or whatever that means. So it's an extension to PowerPoint that makes it easy to create lessons that have full animations, that allow you to ink, you can have your audio video narration, that allow you to put quizzes and polls, that allow you to put simulations. All of those things can be very easily pieced together. And I'll create a lesson in front of you right now. It's a free web portal, so there's a client-side piece, and then there's a cloud service piece. It's a portal where you can, that's the YouTube-like thing, where you can publish, you can share, and you can get the analytics associated with it. The third thing is, in any system, you need a player equivalent to the video player in some sense. So there's a player associated with it that is totally cross-platform. Okay? And finally, what we give you is not a fixed thing, it is an extensible thing where people can go and create lots and lots of stuff. So with that as the introduction slides, I'm going to spend a fair bit of time trying to create. This is publicly available. You can go download it, all of you with pens. I see many, many Surfaces, Microsoft machines. You can download this, start creating when you go home. Now there are 3 pieces to Office Mix. Okay? The first piece is that I'll show, and I'll show you in this order. The first piece is around what is the end user experience. So if your student is taking it, or your colleague, you've created something and published, what are the kinds of things they can do? I'll show that. The second thing is I'll show you how to create some such things. And then the third thing I'll show you is talk a little bit more about the portal and analytics. So the place where you get everything from is this URL, mix.office.com. You can download it right after the session in the evening and start creating. From there, what you do is you get to download the add-in from there. This extends your PowerPoint 2013 to allow you to do a bunch of fun things. Okay? So what I'm going to take you through is a gallery, okay, where I'll show you a variety of lessons that people have created, interactive presentations. And these can get very fancy, or these can be very, very simple that regular people create. So here is one on Ohm's Law. Okay.
Hi, my name is James, and I'm curious.
So you can see there's
about electricity.
Iron, there's inking.
Lightning bolts, Teslas, electric eels, circuit boards. Electricity is everywhere.
So the key thing is actually, it is PowerPoint in the back. So this is not a video, although it seems like a video, this is not a video. This is really PowerPoint in the back, and only the audio and the ink is getting
Ohm's Law helps us to understand how circuits work.
This thing. So you get all the fancy animations, but these are all just PowerPoint animations. It's not anything fancy that we are doing. Okay, you get all of the ink, etc. that is associated with it. So that all works. You have a very nice visual table of contents associated with it, because when I'll show you authoring, everything is slide-centric instead of video timeline-centric. The whole authoring experience and the consumption. So, I have this thing, and I can go and jump around back to the slide if that's what I want to do. And then you can also embed videos right inside, just like in PowerPoint. So this is a high school video, that excites them to do such things. Actually, the learning is better. Maybe more of your senses are engaged, as everybody knows, right? And so this is Ohm's Law simulator that is there. And if you were to go, here's the quiz, and I can try and take it and tell me it's wrong and this is the right answer. Now, every interaction that I'm trying to do with this in the client piece is recorded in the cloud, and that will give you the analytics. So you don't have to do anything, right out of the box. This will allow you to do that. Next, maybe let me try and show you something very simple, that a teacher did. So this is a K-12 scenario. If I can just go and click here. So this is a math teacher. She's just creating something, and here she sets up the lesson objectives and using simple
reviewing the relationship
animations.
Between and rational exponents. Then we'll
talk
about
simpler thing than the Ohm's Law.
Using rational
exponents. Here you can see how she uses animation and
so to evaluate the fifth root of -32, we want to ask ourselves, what times what?
So it might look fancy, but again, she has a quiz embedded right inside, and again, you have a visual table of contents associated with it. You can also create, so this is something I created, which talks a little bit about, so one of the, again, difficult things in videos, if you create, is how do you get hyperlinks and all those kinds of rich things there. So again, here, because it's PowerPoint based, if you have hyperlink, you can do internal and external links. So they just work.
Taking time to watch this.
So if I come here, this is my
Here's
table of
quick
contents. I
Rather
can
than
come
sharing,
here, I can jump back
engaging
to
online lessons is hot.
online, I can go to summary,
So would it be
started. So all of these very hyperlinked lessons, etc., can be very, very easily created in the experience that you have. And I'll show you one more, and then we can, and people don't use it just for science. There's a lot of music things and other kinds of things that are there inside. So let me see, did I hit return? I will go and create something like the one that I'm showing you right now.
Hello.
This is just showing you the different kinds of features that we have inside, but I want to show you just, so you've already seen a quiz. You can insert Khan Academy videos inside, so
we will now begin our journey.
Those are all possible. Rather than, you can have Khan Academy exercises. So I'm just showing you a lot of interactables that you can do inside. You can check answer, you can say show hints, everything just works. You can do complex simulations. I will insert one and show you later on that you can do. You can have, fluid math, inking based stuff that, you can move around, and you can do that stuff. You can put in, programming labs and put in simulations. So there's just a lot of different kind of stuff that you can bring into a lesson. So you can say, okay, pretty fancy. How do I create one? Okay, so let's go into the creation part of it. So this is PowerPoint. Okay, this is just a very simple deck, similar to the one I have. It has 3 animations, and then it is just blank. Okay, so there's nothing fancy about this deck. When I install Mix, I get this thing called Mix Tab. Okay, Mix Tab is the thing that gives me the ability to add audio, video, ink, quizzes, videos, screen captures, and allows me to both export to video, but what we will talk about is uploading to Mix, which is this cloud service and the fancy things that it allows you to do. So let's go and record slides. So here I have just selected a camera, which is using this one, and that is the audio. Let me just use Studio Audio 2. Okay, so we have some audio and video that we are capturing. I have some choose colors, pen thicknesses, and I just hit this. You can see, Office Mix, a quick tour of features. I can come here, things that teachers can do, things that students can do, things that administrators can do, and then here are all the features that are available inside Office Mix. So I come and do this. So what it does is it takes that linear video actually and divides it on a per slide basis. Okay, so I can go and play this. And then here are all the features that are available inside Office Mix. I can go and I can actually delete this slide, turn the camera off, because I want to do an audio only. Audio only, here are all the features that are available inside Office Mix. So, suddenly what you have is now an audio only version of the slide. So you get a lot of per slide editing capability. Audio only, here are all of them. The other thing I want to show you in terms of creation is that all of these things, because it's PowerPoint, so what it is leveraging really is all the beauty of PowerPoint. I could move this around here, I could make it smaller in size and put it right here. This one is too big, I can go here and make it smaller, I don't know, I'm going to just put it here. I can go and reorder slides. So basically the final video is assembled just as your sequence of slides the way you would normally do, and how the decks you can share, and this is, resides in your file. I can come here, I can say I want to add a quiz, and I can say multiple response poll, and I can, add, so I can go and say who is at Wiptte, and I can have some Andy Van Dam, spelling it. Whatever. I won't try and connect this. You know, I don't know if Bill Buxton is here. You can add foo, and turns out, you know, so you can create something like that. It is, you know, check all you know out here. And then you go to an upload and publish process. So I will come here. I'm going to just check. So this is the part where it is taking the presentation and taking it to the cloud. Okay? And this is where you are putting it on a website. So I simply come here and we sign in, and I say create. And basically within 30 seconds, I'm going to have a mix that I could share with 20 people in my class, or I could share with 2,000 on the internet, or 2 million in some sense, you know, on the internet. So the deck is getting uploaded. Once the deck gets uploaded, a lot of fancy things happen to make it be totally scalable. So let's go and see. Okay, so this is showing me my first mix. I click on this or not. So if I go here, you know, this is where I can play. This is what we just created. And I just hit this. And see, you know, Office makes a quick tour of features. I changed the sequence of slides, if you remember, and then an audio only version. Available features. I can come here, you know, things that teachers can do. And then we had gone, this was a blank slide, and then we had added a quiz slide, and I can, you know, select and submit whatever things I had chosen to do. So it's a very, very simple model to create. Another thing to think about is that your deck, in some sense, is your source code for the video presentation that you are trying to create. So at any point, you can go and come here, add another slide, add another drawing. So instead of showing you just inserting more kinds of things, I will just go and draw out here. Very, very crude elephant, and if I draw it, you know, when I close it, now this is part of the slide deck, and if I want it to appear here, boom, publish it, it's going to appear here. So if you're trying to share with other people what you have created, they can take it, you know, just the way we take a few slides from somebody, copy it over, you can do all of this kind of stuff right inside it. And as I was showing you here, there are a lot of different kinds of applications that are available to you by default. And these things, you know, there's a store. So this is the general Office store that is there. And these things can be extensible in lots of ways to go and republish and manage that. I won't go into a lot more. Actually, one quick thing I want to show you before we go into a few other slides. And that is that, let's say if I go to my mixes, okay, so this is where I manage the mixes that I create. So I'm just going to my mixes, and there's a variety of things that I have. I think I will go to page 3. I wanted to show you the analytics. So let's see, I had created a mix which, so basically we give you a lot of per slide analytics. We tell you how much time people spent on each of the slides. Oh, so, you know, hold on for that. So here, let me take you. So here is a slide, you know, this is a short deck that I did. So this is the by slides analytics, by visitors analytic, and by exercises. So for each slide it tells me how many visitors, how many views, average time spent, things like that. It gives me information, each individual, what they did, and then I can click on any individual and understand what they did. I can also automatically go by exercises, and I can see how they answered each of the questions that is there. And all of this is exportable to Excel. So all of these analytics are automatically you know, visible to you. So let me go back here and talk a few things. So you know, again, the key thing is simple, familiar. If you know how to do PowerPoint, you can now start creating these things, lessons. Don't start from scratch, start from the existing decks. adding interactivity. It's really as simple as click art to go and do these things, sharing easily, and it's best of all, it's all free. A couple of other things. So two kinds of extensions here. So one is this set of apps that you saw. These are totally extensible. So we can get the larger community, whether it's college students, high school students, all it takes is basically HTML5 JavaScript skills to go and create these apps that can then be embedded. And we're working with lots of partners to do it, but you can do that. The second is the player itself is very flexibly controlled and skinned as you are trying to embed it. In fact, the whole thing is embeddable, so our notion is not that you necessarily come to our portal, just like YouTube is there. You can take a YouTube embedded video and put it in your portal anywhere else. We support LTI, Embeddly, OEmbed. So we have thousands of places beyond Facebook, Twitter, SharePoint, Moodle, edX. You can, New York Times, you can go and embed these mixes inside those sites to do that. One other quick thing I wanted to just share about in this a little bit in terms of the directions we're going, and so we can leave. So we're also looking at, so I showed you one creation process. Right there, I am in front, recording my video, whatever else we do with the slides, adding King to create interesting things. We are also working on this thing that we call post-mixing. The post-mixing is that you get some studio video. So just like there is a camera in the back that is not linked to the PowerPoint presentation I'm doing, but the video corresponds to that. I might want to merge those together, okay, to create a mix-like structure where I get the analytics, where people can jump around, people can pick slides and do things. And then live mixing is that what I'm doing right now itself gets recorded into. So live mixing is further away. But I'll show you a quick example of post-mix. There is this huge conference going on right now that Microsoft is doing called Build. Okay. And so yesterday's keynote will also be available as a mix. So, normally what we do is you just take the video and you embed the video that is there. Once you do it as a mix, you have, but you also have a big, table of contents that is there. And so, here you can say, Satya is going away, he's inviting, so there's a very nice kind of index that you have throughout.
Thank you.
And,
good morning, everyone, and welcome to Build. Satya just talked about...
or you can say, oh, the fun things for me are the Xbox things. So, here, Alex is talking about how HoloLens, holographic,
are already being sculpted by some of the most creative people around. Now, with this ability to design and
so,
shape
he
holograms,
talks about how you can study and things like that. So I wanted to show you just that there are many, many extensions that are possible as you go in with this. And so finally, all I would say is this is freely, publicly available.